Emily had always been a quiet girl, the type who preferred books over parties, quiet walks over loud conversations, and soft whispers over bold statements. Life had made her shy, not because she lacked intelligence or beauty, but because she had grown up feeling like she never quite fit in. At work, she was invisible. At family gatherings, she was the too quiet cousin. Deep down, Emily longed to be seen, understood, and valued, not for what she looked like, not for how loud she could be, but simply for who she was. On a rainy Friday night, fate tested her courage. Emily felt an unusual, sharp pain, one that made her breath hitch and her face flush with embarrassment. It was an intimate medical emergency, the kind of issue no shy girl ever wanted to admit to anyone, let alone a stranger in a white coat. For hours, she tried to ignore it, curling up on her small bed in her little apartment, whispering to herself that it would go away. But by midnight, the pain was unbearable, forcing her to do something she dreaded more than anything: go to the emergency room. The bright hospital lights made her feel exposed. The nurses at the desk were busy, the beeping monitors around her echoed like judgment, and the patients waiting seemed to glance her way as if they could sense her secret. She pulled her jacket tighter, wishing she could disappear. And then he appeared. Dr. Adrian Blackwood. Tall, composed, with dark, thoughtful eyes that seemed to read people's souls. He was the kind of doctor who didn't just walk into a room, he commanded it without saying a word. Yet, when his gaze fell on Emily, there was no judgment, no coldness. Just gentleness. He introduced himself with a voice calm enough to soothe the panic racing through her chest. "Emily, I'll take care of you," he said softly, pulling up a chair beside her bed. "You're safe here." No one had ever spoken to her like that before. She expected the usual rush of questions, the clinical tone, the cold detachment, but Adrian was different. He leaned closer, not to intimidate, but to reassure. He noticed how tightly she held her hands together, how her shoulders trembled not just from the pain, but from fear and embarrassment. Slowly, carefully, he asked about her symptoms. Emily's cheeks burned as she stumbled through her words. She wanted the ground to open and swallow her whole, but Adrian never looked away, never rushed her, never once let her feel small. Instead, he nodded, listened, and even smiled gently when she faltered. Inside, Emily thought, why is he being so kind? Doctors don't have time for this. What she didn't know, what no one in the ER knew, was that Adrian Blackwood was not just any doctor. He was the heir to one of the most powerful business empires in the city, a man worth millions, who had chosen medicine not out of necessity but out of passion. By day, he saved lives in the ER. By night, he hid from the glittering world of wealth that meant nothing to him. As he treated Emily, a strange silence hung between them. Not the awkward kind, but the kind that made hearts beat faster. She caught herself staring at his hands, steady and warm as he worked. He noticed her eyes, shy but filled with a quiet strength. When the treatment was done, Emily whispered, "Thank you, doctor," her voice breaking slightly. Adrian didn't move immediately. Instead, he met her gaze and said, "You're stronger than you think, Emily. Most people would have panicked, but you handled this with courage." Her heart skipped a beat. No one had ever called her strong before. For the first time in years, Emily felt seen, not as the shy girl, not as the invisible one, but as someone worthy of notice. She didn't know it yet, but this night was the beginning of something that would change both of their lives forever.